Like
so where's the prompt screen?
Right?
Where's my prompt screen? Ebonie.
Mike. So we're over here at your property that we did a complete gut rehab.
Yes.
And I'll always tell people in the office, like, this is one of my favorite babies here for the fact that where the property started from.
Right.
Tell me, how did this property look? Tell me, where did it start from?
It started from a road trip to look for properties. This one came up on the radar. We took a drive by and a walk through, and it looked great on the outside, nice neighborhood, and the inside totally trashed. So right away, there's an opportunity.
Now, let me ask you this real quickly, because you said you took a road trip. Where are you from?
I'm from BC, Canada.
You're from Canada.
Yes.
So we're here in Chicago.
Yes, we're in Chicago.
And you came from Canada just to find properties here in Chicago.
Indeed.
What made you choose the Chicago market?
The underlying fundamentals of Chicago. Chicago is one of the last emerging markets from the financial crisis, the mortgage crisis, and I was a little late getting on board with Phoenix, Arizona. Memphis was better for single family home investing. My long game is apartment buildings.
Okay.
So I kind of walked away from Memphis. Tampa, St. Pete's area, Florida, went through a big condo conversion a few years prior, so that's not too many apartment buildings available there. Chicago just worked. Home for multiple Fortune 500 company headquarters, lots of diversity in the economy. GDP and population growth is not stellar, but it's not bad. And lots of houses that need rehabbing. There's a huge market here.
There's a huge market. A lot of nice neighborhoods that people really don't know about.
Right.
And out of all the properties we went to in all the neighborhoods, this is the one that you chose. What's interesting about this is you chose this property, but you said it was trash. What vision did you see for this property for you to choose this one?
The outside looks great. The 120-year-old brickwork or thereabouts looks in good shape. New roof was easy to visualize. So the outside would still fit in beautifully with the neighborhood. And it is a nice neighborhood. You look down this street, there's obviously pride of ownership shows. There's a lot of owner occupants, not too many rentals or obvious rentals. So that was a good thing. And the inside looked like a blank canvas. I mean, you could literally just completely gut it and put walls up where you want. We didn't do too much of that on this job. It just had so much potential to do anything we want.
So you've got the property, I helped you get the property.
Yes, you did.
But what, going forward, so you get the property, you're excited. Now, what's the next step?
Well, the next step is to get the crew onto it, which, as you can see, we're excuse me, in the middle of.
Right.
The contractor becomes the next big part, and once his job is done, I guess it's back to you.
Right. And I know during the process, we went through multiple different contractors to see who can bid for the job, who can bid for the job the best. And I know that was kind of time consuming and even stressful just doing that.
Yes.
What were some of the reasons why you chose contractors out the multiple contractors that we went through?
The contractor I chose this time came referred, so that's a big plus. A colleague of mine is using him on multiple projects here in Chicago. I was able to look at his finished work and some work in progress, which was great. His numbers were, he wasn't the cheapest and he wasn't the most expensive, but he came with good references, and that's very important to me.
Interesting that you said that, because a lot of my clients do come to me as referrals. And what's interesting is the contract that you're using, Ro. I had never met him that day, but we became friends after that because every single property that I had, he was the contractor. Unrelated investors, unrelated properties, totally different areas.
Right.
But the same thing. He did come highly referred.
Yes.
And, not get off subject, but there was a property that he was working on at one point and he stopped working on it. And the only reason he started working on it was because I come highly referred. That it was like, since you're doing a property, you know what, since you're selling it, I'm going to go ahead and do it because I know you got me. So that's one thing about this business right here, that you do want to make sure when you're doing your rehabs, you're flipping, that your circles is tight, your team is structured.
Yes.
How do you feel about what do you think can happen without a team that's not structured if you don't have it in place?
You're going to lose money. It's going to take way too long. It's going to be over budget. I would almost put money on that. Working from a distance, I have to have a solid team. And if I can't put a good solid team together, I can't work in Chicago from Canada. It just isn't possible.
Well, you're not even in just Canada, because I talked to you when we had a 10-hour time difference. You're in Malaysia,
I
too.
spend a lot of time in Malaysia as well, yes. So that adds another layer of complication to our communication.
Yes. So usually Malaysia, we have to Skype each other,
Yes.
Do the WhatsApp or whatever. If you can tell a new investor going forward, what would you tell a new investor?
I think first off, don't be put off by the hugeness of it from standing back. You have to, don't be overwhelmed. But at the same time, there's some very important things that need to be put in place. You need to have your money sorted out. You absolutely have to have a good team on the ground where you're going to work, whether it's your hometown or whether it's afar. Mm-hmm. It's going to take longer, and it's going to cost you more than you think. And if you build that into your plan, then you're on a good solid start.
What would you tell a seasoned investor? And the reason I'm asking this question is because you'll be surprised that a lot of investors think, oh, I got this. I know how to do this. Done it a million times. Mm-hmm. Every project is different. Every situation is different.
Yes.
What do you think you could tell a seasoned investor from your experience?
From my experience? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure, other than know your team.
I agree with you.
Know your team. Communication is huge. Communication for me is particularly troublesome because of my remoteness when I'm home and when I'm at my day job. But communication weekly, even more frequent if you need to, depending on the stage of the project where you're at. Closing time obviously is going to be lots of communication. Kicking a job off with the contractor, there'll be a lot initially. Things, if you've got the right contractor, things should coast along fairly well. Just a 5-minute call once a week should be enough to make sure things are on track. Get your security cameras in so you know for sure that everything is going as it should, and it'll give you an extra little bit of notice if maybe an extra phone call is needed. I think that communication is huge.
Okay.
I don't know if that answers your question.
No. It really is huge. I think it's huge for everybody to communicate with each other, not just, you're constantly communicating on one side or
right.
The realtor or the contractor. It is truly teamwork when we all know each other. Mm-hmm. So where do you see yourself going forward after this project?
This project was my test case. Mm-hmm. So I was ready to start by buying 4 or 5 of these right off the bat, but I felt that because this is my first job, my first deal in Chicago, maybe, I want to make sure I do have the right people on the team. Mm-hmm. And I think my choices were pretty solid. So now once this one is sold, and we'll take this money and I'll start leveraging on the next purchases. This was all my own money to start with. I was only going to put my money at risk on the first one. Mm-hmm. But I'm confident now, and I hope to do, my plan for this year is another 8 of these. Okay. And then I will definitely have enough to get into apartment buildings then.
Perfect. So now I have a final question for you.
All right.
It could be an embarrassing question.
All right.
So this question is, how do you grade me? How do you grade Ebonie Caldwell, your realtor? Do you feel I'm just your realtor? Like, how do you give me a grade? And just be honest.
Okay, I'd have to say this is a midterm grade, mm-hmm. because end of school is not arrived yet.
Thank
We're
you.
not done, and the house is still mine. So until the house is no longer mine, you'll get your final grade. But you've been scoring A's all through the year. It's been awesome. The communication has been first rate. The help, the follow up, the doing. I mean, you have done way more than I would have expected of a realtor. I was fully expecting to have to pay for a property inspector to make multiple visits out here along the way. You're doing all that for me.
Yep.
And I'm getting great feedback. The weekly photos and video to my inbox is great. I can see where we're at, how it's progressing. Keeps the excitement, keeps the momentum going.
Right.
No, it's solid A's.
I appreciate it.
That's not smoke. That's
Well, you know, I do try to find out what other people are out there doing in the industry and kind of create a one-stop shop, but to the point where as you know you can count on me. And then I think for me is this is not a job. Like this is something I love doing. Like you've seen my daughter with me. So for me, this is fun. Like,
and it shows. It really shows. This is a passion for you.
This definitely is a passion.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, that's all I got for you.
Thanks, Ebonie.
And hopefully, actually, we're going to do another interview at the very end so we can see, like you said, we didn't already built the momentum. We want to get the real excitement going just to see where this property is actually getting ready to end. So that's going to be the best part. And I'm excited.
And I'll give you your year-end grade then.
Yes. Thank you.